Yeah, 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 yeah.
See if I can get my.
Turn these up just a little bit. Levels, levels, levels. Okay.
Is anybody out there?
Is there anybody listening?
Yeah, this is Radio Free Roanoke.
Hi, everybody. We're going to get up to speed here. If you could, let us know if it's working at all. I don't have the fastest internet here at the shop, thanks to Cox Communications. The lowest package I pay for is still $50 a month. It's like 25 megabits a second or something.
All right, 20 megabits a second. We got commercials going on over the top of it.
Oh, you're having to watch commercials to watch our own live stream?
Yeah, what's that all about? I'm not getting anything from that. We're not getting anything from that.
Yeah, you are, actually.
I guess we are.
Black Dog is.
Black Dog is. Like I said, I don't get anything from that.
Yeah, right.
It's like talking about Black Dog in the third as a third person.
Right.
You know, it's not me. It's this thing.
Yeah, it's an entity. Black Dog has developed its own identity, its own momentum, its own personality.
It's morphing into something more organic.
Oh, yeah,
and it's got its own thing. And I'm kind of just one of the players in the rock and roll band.
Look at you.
You know?
I mean, you're like the lead singer of AC/DC. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just rock star for
more,
like 4 decades.
Roger Daltrey or something.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
he
the
was
Who?
Roger the Who.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that was what I grew up with.
Sure.
Yeah,
AC/DC's and that similar.
It is. I saw AC/DC at
Brian,
the
what's his name?
California World Music Festival, 1978.
Yeah.
I think 1978 at the L.A. Coliseum. It had all kind of like Toto and AC/DC. God, it was all kind of old groups.
Not then.
Well, not then. They were pretty current right then. That was when I decided not to go to any more live stadium concerts because people got pretty whacked out and started throwing stuff.
That's the fun part.
And you should have seen it. It just came apart, and stuff that they weren't supposed to have in was being thrown back and forth. I said, I got to get out of here.
They parted like this Red Sea.
Yeah, like a cell division or something. And
mitosis? There you go.
Anyway, that was I survived through it.
I've been in last summer. I went to a rock festival and I participated in my first mosh pit.
You can have it.
It was fun. I don't think I'll do it again.
I don't think so, man.
But it was a respectful amount of violence. We were shoving each other, but there weren't any like sucker punches or pokes or any weapons. It was just sort of like,
you know,
I got all this angst and I want to get it out.
I'm all about adventure and everything, but I'm too old for that. You know, it's just not. I'd lose my AARP card if I did that. You know, mosh pit for the older crowd is, you know, me falling down.
You versus the floor.
The floor. What's that? Mike's moshing.
Yeah. One-man mosh pit.
Well, hey, everybody. I guess we're on. I hear some people say we are.
Yes, we've got some chatters. LJP, John Glowoski, Anthony Roloff, Sue Black. What's up? Some names I remember or at least recognize. I'm going to hit record on the board because I forgot to.
Yeah, obviously we don't do live. You know, we do present but not live. You know, so that's when I do my daily dog, it's not live either. It's just I don't know how to edit, so I got to start and finish on one take.
Well, that's like the old school. Like when I started messing with y'all's like tape video camcorder. Yeah. We would edit. They call it editing in camera, and that's how you do it. You know, you get ready, everybody ready, and click.
Start.
There's your cut point, and then you cut again, and then you rejigger stuff, and then you cut.
I still can't
start
do that.
Stop.
I'm terrible.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lynn.
Oh,
Lynn says she misses the show. We miss parts of it.
I always tell folks we missed the money. You know, that was
which wasn't even all that much.
It wasn't that great, but it was hard, and this is a perfect time to talk about not doing it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
When we finished season 11, usually, you know, we were doing season to season, and we basically said, hey, you know, we'll accept another season if you what do they call it? Pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pick it up, and we fell into the Magnolia zone, and they were just starting to develop their network, and it was going to take DIY, and we made the first cut, but we didn't make the second.
Well, yeah.
I was told. This was only by the
You might know more than me, but basically, yeah, what happened is, I'm sure y'all have seen the show, whatever, Kitchen Crashers or whatever Chip and Joanna Gaines's empire is called.
Oh, that was Fixer Upper.
Fixer Upper.
Yeah.
They got so big that, and also Magnolia is the name of their company. They have a store with.
That's their brand.
Their brand. And so they got so big that essentially they absorbed the DIY network.
That's kind of the way it is. It's more like,
at least that's the story I've been telling people.
Everybody thinks that Chip and Joanna bought the DIY network or Discovery, and it's that's so far from the truth, because it's more like they struck a deal for their brand, and they were wrapped around that channel.
Oh,
they're doing great. I mean, I've never had the opportunity to meet those guys, but I'm envious of their success. But I'm okay now. I'm okay too.
Right. Being bitter is pointless, because if we're honest with ourselves, we would have loved to have that same level of success.
Yeah, we had we were up there against Vanilla Ice?
The Vanilla Ice project.
Yeah, I always call him Vanilla Ice Tea.
Yeah.
Because
because Vanilla Ice and Iced Tea are two real people.
Exactly. And so anyway, we met him. I heard he was a real nice guy.
Sure.
And that's kind of the interesting part about the reality thing is most of these folks are really nice. Now, I did a reality thing before. It was with Moving Up, I think was the name of it, and Doug Wilson was the host.
I remember that. Mom was even on.
Yeah,
that.
we went there, and he was all right, but he was a little persnickety. We were just glad to be there and glad to have our product. We built a cool bar.
I remember that.
For nothing. Freebie.
For exposure.
Yeah.
You had the starving artist model.
And they wanted me to, my exposure, they said, we'll just get you in the credits. Well, have you seen how fast credits go through? That's not enough. So we got, I had a banner on the bar, had a truck with our logo on it. So we got the truck with the logo on it on the show. And I couldn't tell you which one. It was a barn in New Jersey that they were turning into a disco.
Well, hey, and you got a bar.
We did a bar for them.
Was there a brand on the bar?
Oh yeah,
good.
Oh yeah, I was relentless. Of course, they saw me rolling the bar out with the banner on it with Black Dog, and they said that's a little too much. You got to take that. You got to take that off.
You can't fault you for trying.
You got to try. And it's all about that product placement. They're pretty militant about it.
Well, that's been an interesting point. Something that I've been explaining to people a lot lately, because my shop now is getting to the point where with my YouTube channel, I'm big enough to start getting sponsors.
Yeah.
And I met with some power tool reps the other day. But with Black Dog and Salvage Dogs, when we were doing the show, typically how TV sponsors work, they're from the top down. Like the network head and the network executives decide, probably, for lack of a better term, who they want to partner with. Like if it's going to be Lowe's or Home Depot.
Well, that's who's going to pay them.
Right.
That's the partnership.
But in any case, they have to do with the decision making, and that therefore it's sanctioned. So because Black Dog Salvage was the business being showcased by the show Salvage Dogs, if a company like Woodcraft or Miller or Edwards partnered with Black Dog Salvage because we told them we would use it on the show,
we'd do the best we could.
It was not a partnership with the network.
No, because that's very expensive.
Right. And so there would be top-down directives from the network to the production company saying, hey, they would see the cuts or whatever and be like, hey, you need to tape over those brands or you need to Greek it. United Rentals got bit by that toward the end of the show.
Yeah.
And it was a constant, even the Black Dog logo.
Black Dog got bit. They said we could. Y'all couldn't wear a logo at all.
You guys limited to one.
And Robert and I could only wear one.
Yeah.
In any shot, I would have 2 or 3 logos on because that's all I wear is Black Dog gear.
Yeah.
And some other ones, Mountain Khaki for one.
Oh, big fan of Mountain Khaki.
Yeah. But we we rolled with it, and it got a little corporate at the end, and. We got they let us off. They didn't let us off. We just stepped off the wagon somewhere around. It was definitely the end of the 11th season, and didn't come back. So
yeah, we weren't renewed, so to speak.
Yeah, one of it was we had a half-hour show instead of an hour show, and that was an issue. And they just didn't want to go back and rehash and put it back together because we could have done it. We did enough stuff to do an hour.
Yeah.
My producers say we didn't, but I beg to differ.
Well, and you guys, often, that was one of the biggest bits of feedback we got was, why isn't the show an hour long? What the heck? And we were like, listen, we have nothing to do with it.
That's how it was formatted.
Yeah.
First off, because it's only 22 minutes, guys. We'd work for 5 days typically on one episode, and we only got 22 minutes.
Yeah,
that's
without commercials.
Without commercials,
Yeah.
yeah. So, that's how it goes. It's real. That's the real part of reality,
Robert Stewart talking about mosh pitting. He said, slam dancing is for the young. Be sure to have your friends in the pit.
Yeah.
I love slam dancing.
None of my friends can hold me up. So, it's like, I'm not going to be doing any slam dancing. I won't even jump on I won't even jump on a trampoline anymore.
I have recently, and it hurt.
That jars your innards.
Oh, my back was ruined. Curtis, what's up, man? Curtis Zeidelhack, howdy from Phoenix. Anthony Roloffs. It may have been hard, but we all really appreciated everything you all did. Means the world.
Thank you, man.
CG Genovesi, greetings from Oregon. Lynn, yours was my favorite show. Wendy Dixon, hello from Kent, UK. Late here, staying up to see you guys. Hey, drink some coffee.
In the UK? You're in the UK? What's it, 5 hours difference?
Probably more.
Yeah.
Hi, guys, from Dan and Brenda in Texas. We stopped by to see Tay in January, and he was super nice. Well, that's good. It was good to see you guys.
Yeah. You caught him on a good day. Mm-hmm. Tay's mostly nice unless they've got a reason not to be.
Stress will affect me in bad ways.
I got a stress reliever. It's sitting right here on the table.
That's nice.
And I'm representing today Defiant, and they call themselves America's Single Malt Whiskey. Whiskey, not bourbon, but whiskey. And there's a difference. And these are this particular bourbon distillery is run by some open water salvage divers out of North Carolina. They go all over the world to salvage stuff and bring stuff off the bottom. And they did a bourbon, and it's pretty doggone good.
Well, enough talking about it. Let's pour some.
Yeah, it's early on, guys. I was going to hold this till later, but we can sip.
It's a sipper. Yeah, oh yeah.
It's that time of day where we can
loosen up.
We can all sit and sip a little brown.
It's 5:42 p.m. here on the Eastern Seaboard in Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah, there's one, and I got the Black Dog bourbon glasses.
Look at that. Can the people still buy these?
I can get more, but I haven't.
No, I haven't restocked.
Yeah. I got bourbon. We were going after a line of bourbon. You can private label anything, and we had one that we were looking at, but we just didn't follow. Me and somebody else didn't follow through with it, and it's just like anything else. You got to finish. I mean, I'm a great idea guy. Ask Robert.
You got to have an idea guy.
I'm the idea guy, and I can
speaking of finish, that's good.
Isn't that nice? Cheers, America.
Real good. B. Reynolds, we always said, greetings from Kentucky from Gary. BC Henshin, hey guys, if you had a shoebox full of medals, like a $50 to drink coaster size, what would you create? A shoebox full of medals.
Medals like in war medals?
Yeah. Well, if they're weldable, I could do all kinds of things.
Most of them aren't, though. We did some stuff with they're called challenge coins.
Oh yeah.
Remember we did
the veterans.
The veterans, yeah, we did that for some guys out in. It's not a halfway house, but it was a recovery ranch.
Yeah.
Over near.
What was the name of that?
Near Portsmouth. It'll come to us.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did a bench for them out of a couple of really cool doors, and we got these challenge medals that were, a lot of SEALs and Rangers, and these guys are, PTSD, and
they sort of trade them, the challenge.
Well, yeah, and you get them in a lot of military though, and we inset these and floated resin in them, which was pretty cool.
And the side of the benches and stuff.
Yeah, you can go. I don't know which episode that was. That was somewhere in the 9 or 10 season, somewhere in there.
Oh, so BC, there you go. You could make a tabletop with an edge around it. Put all these coins or metals, whatever these metal discs you have are, all over the surface.
Yeah.
Pour resin over it.
Yeah, we're not big resin guys here. A lot of people do that, but it's pretty cool.
I do it when necessary. This table, I had to fill some cracks. You guys do it a lot. But
we do
really
a lot of fill, but we don't do what they call the river. Where people pour resin.
They'll have two halves and then fill the.
Or whatever. And you can fake a river, but it's just something we don't typically do. There's a lot of guys out there that'll do it. Sure we can find you somebody if you want a river. But we do a lot of filling with resin. But you can do that with the coin. That's kind of what I was getting back to. We floated these coins in the resin in a hole, and it was awesome.
It's funny. There's something happening in the chat that has happened for the past 10 years on our social media channels, which is Joanne Levierde, sorry. Joanne, any hour-long specials on TV for Black Dog in the future? And Lynn said, great idea from Joanne.
You know,
yeah, it's just
it's if unless we do it ourselves, we're not slated to do it. It would be great if they would go back and just do like a round table, like Mike Rowe and the Deadliest Catch guys did. You know.
Oh, like revisits and where they had everyone around the table.
Yeah,
and
we can get Ted and Grayson in, and we may be able to talk Robert, and we get him a couple Miller Lights, and he'll show up.
Oh yeah. Well, this is now our platform. To answer your question directly and clearly, the network has given us up.
Yeah.
New episodes of Salvage Dogs are no more, and whatever is there now in the 11 seasons, 143 episodes. All half hour long. That is what is.
And that is the property of Discovery.
Yeah, we don't even own that. Yeah. That's the problem. That's why for the last 5 years or so we were doing the show, Dad and I put a lot of emphasis on recording our own stuff, taking our own pictures, doing our own social media stuff, because we became acutely aware that once it was over, we would have none of it. We couldn't even get a screenshot from the show right now unless I literally screenshot my computer while watching Salvage Dogs on Amazon. So,
and then they would probably still have an issue with that.
Yeah, it would be some copyright.
I can understand copywriting, and because our logo and our name is copywritten.
Oh, we got a shout out. Lacey wants us to say hi to her mom. Her name's Tina. Hi, Tina.
Tina, how you doing?
We watch you every day and would never miss an episode when the show was live.
So you get up early in the morning. It's 4 to 6 in the morning on the Magnolia network. I hear because I don't get Magnolia. I don't get anything.
You don't even have the
I'm
package.
cheap. Whatever Tay gets, he shares a password with me.
I remember when I bought my house in 2016 and signed up for DirecTV, and I was, there's the basic package and then the extra package. And I had to get the extra package to get the DIY network. And I remember talking to the sales guy, and this is how, you could tell I was already like thinking about sponsorships and partnerships. I was talking to the guy, the representative, and I'm like, hey, man, so I want programming. I want to get DirecTV for my house, but I'm on a show that isn't included in the basic channel.
What did he say?
He goes, and I said, it's a show called Salvage Dogs. It's a lot of fun. I do it with my family. It's on the DIY network. Is there any way I could get that package for free? And he goes, what was the show called? I said, Salvage Dogs. He goes, never heard of it. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm paying for the package.
You're buying what you can buy, and you got to pull what you can pull, and it's streaming now on everything. And we got folks that are just now discovering us. And,
isn't that fun?
And all over the world, believe it or not all over the world. I'm sure we're not on the Beijing net.
Who knows?
But we definitely are in Australia, New Zealand, pretty much all of Europe. Greece, Middle East. Well, I think we're definitely not in Ukraine. We're solid with you guys, and so it's you never know who's watching. I mean, we got 55 people here. Just
75. No, 51. Right? Yeah,
I got 55, and this is just us. We're not all that. We live this thing. It's a great body of work. Our show. I'm very, very proud of it. And
well, it's funny because that was your mindset going into even before the show when we were talking about the show. I think you had to convince Robert to do it because he didn't want to do it. Well, and you said at the very least it'll be a good commercial.
Yeah, and Robert was the reluctant reality star. He just said, just bring me a check. Yeah. And of course, we did one. We started our sizzle without Robert the first day, and I think I said this on one of our interviews or our episodes, is that we were being us. It was Tay and Ted and Christy and a few others. Grayson wasn't with us. And we were being, mischievous and, laughing and having fun. And Billy Hayes, I wish Billy would be on here. He tuned in. He was the guy who basically, quote, discovered us. And he says, I'm just going to leave these guys here.
We could call him.
We could. We could. Yeah, well,
we don't have time.
We don't have time. Yeah. Billy's a little. We had to cut him off. But he said, "Hey, you guys, I'm going to go home. I'm going to leave Ajit and Max, and another guy named Hightower there to finish." I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "It's just not snapping." I said, "Give it another day." So we waited the next day. We were working. Robert and Mike Pay drove up, and immediately, Robert was Robert, and Robert added that clear right angle, a guy you'd like to smack into the thing, and we love Robert. Don't get me wrong, it wouldn't have happened without him.
Well, but he's the straight man.
He's the straight man.
I don't mean his orientation. I mean like in the classic TV sense. Like you got the loosey goosey ideas guy that's gonna get it done.
Right.
And Robert's if it doesn't fit in this box, I'm irritated.
Yeah, and it's got to fit in this box because
that box is on wheels.
I'm Robert Cole. Yeah, and this is supposed to happen. And unfortunately, Robert's not here to defend himself, so we won't talk a whole lot about him.
But it was that dichotomy that was so.
That was the juice.
Well, and before I started to develop my character, i.e., learn who I was in real life and on the show, and Grayson and Ted, we were all minors next to you guys as major, and that was that first thing because everybody knew a Mike or everybody knew a Robert. Even here. Lynn says, I did a lot of construction work in my day. I love the way Mike and Robert argued. I had a friend. We did the same thing, right?
Yeah,
so everybody.
Everybody's wrong and everybody's right. So there's.
Or LJP, the Abbott to your Costello.
Absolutely. I grew up in Abbott and Costello. Yeah, that was, and Three Stooges and all that other stuff, but this was, we were real. And when I talked to everybody, I talk to people all day, every day that come in to see us. I said, this was not me. This was us being us, and there was enough of it to entertain, and people wanted to see the contrast. If we'd have both been Robert or both been me, it wouldn't have worked. It had been too much chaos, and they started out as a tool show, like a demo, guys tearing stuff up. That's what they thought it was going to be, and nobody would buy it.
Right, Bill trying to pitch it to I think the Velocity channel.
Well,
he was trying to sell it as like a dude show with power tools and demo.
There's enough of that, and there was enough cussing out there, so we did it a little bit different, And there was a timing thing. There wasn't another show like ours, really. What you got?
My internet's slowing down a little bit.
We got internet slowing down, everybody.
YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering.
Can you guys see us okay, and is it buffering?
Yeah, man.
Come on, Elon.
We need a mainstream.
Elon's going like, hey, man, just go buy the antenna. Can you see it okay?
On your end.
Yeah.
No data.
Yeah. Can y'all still hear us?
Anybody let us know in the chat if you can still hear us.
Yeah. There we go. See,
you're smooth.
You're smooth.
All right. Well, heck, I'll ignore the warning messages.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So it was that realization of the y'all's two character types that really locked in.
Yin yang, positive, negative, whatever you want to call it. That was what made it work. Mm-hmm. And then you guys just added the rest. The fill, the storyline, and you became your characters, which was who you were.
I became the operator and the fabricator and the guy who had to take your napkin sketches, chalkboard drawings, and make them come to reality, which was honestly, looking back now, one of the best trainings I've ever received, which was having to think on your feet. Tools for forever, that came later, but for a while it was like we had a hammer, an oxyacetylene torch, and a grinder. Mm-hmm. Make it work, and a welder, and it was looking through, scraps of wood, and I'd find your nail gun and some glue, and I'd like make little.
I didn't let him play with a nail gun when he was a kid. So don't get that people jumping all over me for that. We didn't let you play with that, but you were a wrench. You were a
yes.
You like taking things apart. I remember being under a sink in the Savannah house, and you were basically sitting on my chest, looking to see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't have been more than 2 years old, But we get it. Naturally, I got fine there. Everybody's still good. Yep, buffering.
Yep.
But back now.
Well, now that we're back, sorry if there's any inconsistencies.
Well, we lost some people, so.
It seems like people had enough.
Yeah.
They had enough of us.
I want to put a shout out if my sisters are watching. Today is my mom's, God bless her soul's, 94th birthday.
Nana, Irene Whiteside.
Yeah.
I miss you.
Yep.
I'm sure you guys do as well.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just a little shout out.
Happy birthday,
to my
Nana.
mom and sisters. She was a force.
Hell yeah, she
no
was.
doubt,
She raised 4 kids while working 2 jobs.
Oh, more than 2, but
yeah, and still had some love to give.
Oh, plenty. It was heartfelt as well. Anyway, I know everybody feels good about their parents. I hope.
You would hope.
Irene was. Did they lean something up there? We're sitting in Tay's studio or his office over here at Lift Arc Studios, and sound like somebody.
Around quitting time, it becomes a busy street because people park on this street to go to the brewery next door.
Right across the brewery, there's a place called Golden Cactus.
Golden Cactus Brewing. Shout out Golden Cactus Brewing. Honestly, my favorite beer in town, run by my good buddy Evan Graham. Hell of a brewer. Brews all the beer himself. There's usually about 6 to 8 beer shop next door. There's a killer restaurant on the backside called Food Hut. Go
be there.
Yeah, patronize. Go patronize.
I mean,
them.
it's local. It's a local brew.
Oh yeah.
And I always say,
Steve, amongst all the buffering we're having, Steve said, last thing I heard, Tay was sitting on your chest. That's a weird story to hear. Just that piece of it.
Stevie was only 2 years old. Yeah. He sits on my chest now, and I'm gonna have to call 911.
Yeah, it's not gonna end well.
No. I'm a frail portion of the man I used to be.
Keep talking. I'm going to try to hardwire this thing and see if that makes it any better.
Oh, well, we're hardwiring everybody. I guess we're still buffering. But anyway, I don't know if everybody know where we are. We're in, where are we? Oh, we're in Roanoke, Virginia. Okay, Southwest Virginia. It's that's called the Star City. Used to be called the Magic City. And it's used to be called Big Lick. I think there's a lot of salt deposits here where the cattle would lick the ground. I think that's the story. It was called Big Lick, and it's a lot of very salty soil or something. I beg anybody to call me on that one. But there you go. You just left and you come back. How we doing?
All right.
We're down to 22.
Oh, man, they're dropping like flies. Well, I hardwired my laptop, so let's see if that changes anything.
You went out? You got? Oh,
there it goes. There it goes. All right, hold on. Stand by. No data.
Like I say, Elon, if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not, send me a Starlink download. I hear that's pretty good.
Right, satellite internet.
Yeah.
I had satellite internet of sorts when I first got my house.
That was HughesNet.
Yeah,
that's
it was a heck of a delay.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
But supposedly the Starlink is going to be, and they use it a lot. I mean, it's active. It's going. You got to pay for it, obviously, because Elon's got a lot of money invested in them satellites.
But the whole deal there is that he can put internet anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it in Ukraine. He's doing it, and you you'd be out in the middle of the deserts of Africa and watch Salvage Dogs.
Yeah, watch the Black Dog Salvage podcast.
I'm not worried about the numbers, Sue. We appreciate it. We're just glad that people turn up and say how they do.
I think we're back. I got says it's poor, but whatever. Hardwired. Looks smooth.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the origins and all that, and
anybody got any questions for us that we haven't answered?
LJP's hanging with us. Janie Joseph, sounds like a great location, food and drink just outside your doorstep. It really is. It gets you in trouble. Lynn's still here.
LJP, you got questions?
Not me. Got
Not
questions.
me. Got questions. Okay.
In any case, what did you guys think of season 1 of the Black Dog Salvage podcast? I had fun doing it.
We had fun. It was something we could do every Thursday.
Yeah.
You know, just
if anything, for nothing else, it was a reason we could hang out.
yeah. We don't make time these days, so this was a thing on the calendar reminding me every week come and do it, and that's why we decided to do it today. This is Thursday, our pod day, and it's real easy, and it's just us recapping. It's good for us because we get to kind of go back because it's, you know, some of the stuff is over 10 years old. You know,
right.
The first season,
2013,
yeah.
Season 1.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, what a wild thing to have been on television, right? Like, it's been so long now that I feel like it feels like a different person did that.
Yeah.
You know? And but I'm reminded every day of that experience because of what I learned. You know, everything I know about cameras and production and editing and sponsorships and business was not only because of Black Dog, but what Black Dog was like to be a part of during the show. How do you negotiate? How do you represent yourself? How important is branding? You know, all that stuff. It was,
and Tay picked up a lot from the sound people and the camera folks. You know,
I was obsessed.
It was, and of course, you never got to get behind it on literally get behind the camera.
That's okay.
For the show.
You put this face behind a camera?
Yeah,
no way.
That's true. And, of course, I'm going to do this right here, okay? What that is this reminds me of my cameraman, Gary Costner.
Yeah.
And we would be doing interviews, and, you know, the lighting was the lighting. He'd always point and tell me, say, you know, he had to say a word, just Mike, push your head up a little bit and so I can see your eyes.
Yeah, because, you'd hide your beautiful hazels in that.
Whatever it is.
What? I don't even know what color your eyes are.
They're brown, green, blue, whatever. You know, they're not black. Let's see. We got LJP. Tay mentioned something about a TV crew and paying $20 a drop of stained glass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was in Salisbury.
Yes, that was that church where that triple pocket door didn't fit out the door.
Right.
And you got those giant
arched windows.
Arched.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the word?
Yeah. And we had an opening, and one of them was in pretty bad shape, one of the arched windows. And they're huge. I'm probably 10 by 10 at least.
At least.
And
probably longer, yeah.
And I think our executive producers, Jeff Lanner, told Tay afterwards, or asked Tay, said, I'll give you $20 to drop the glass.
Yeah, well, I was on the end, and of course, behind every camera, there's also a producer and a sound person. There's like these pods of 3 every time you see the window of the show. And yeah, he sort of whispered, I don't even think he whispered, it was Jeff. He goes, I'll give you $20 if you drop it. Yeah. And I knew enough to know that was a multi-$100, multi-$1,000 window.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I said something to the tune of not a chance.
And when I heard it, I went back to Jeff and said, if you'd come up with $200, I'd have dropped it. And it was in pretty bad shape. It's kind of funny, that particular one of them went to a house in Chapel Hill, and then the other one went back to the church. They later. They did not tear the church down, and they turned it into a community center. And so we gave the window back to them, which was pretty cool.
That was cool. Actually, I filmed that.
Yeah, you did.
That is on the YouTube channel. People are chatting up like crazy now. When will we start season 2? Next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Next Thursday we'll start.
We'll get into it. Again, it gives me a chance to, we review them. I review them, right before I come and write notes down. It's going to be kind of interesting to see because season 2 we were kind of veterans at that point. We think we had our jam going, and
which is surprising when you think about 11 seasons. You wouldn't think that we settle into anything by season 2, but even by the end of season 1, we were starting to get used to it a little.
Yeah, and it's just ignoring the camera, put play to the camera, open up, kind of show them what you're doing. Don't sit there and hunch over and hide the mistake or hide the jewel you're working on. You had to kind of open up to the camera, but that was done And they were really good. They work with us. Just mention all of our crew here. We had Gary Costner as a cameraman.
Yeah, he was usually the director of photography.
Yeah, Jack Bromley also was one of our head camera people. He was director when Gary wasn't there. Sound was always Michelle
Holbrook.
Yeah. We had
Brooks, Lester. We had Brian Garfield.
Yeah.
We had, and then of course the incredible Zach Boyd, who started as a PA and became at least B-Cam, if not, our first AC.
Right. Yeah, and he run around taking pictures. And hats off to the producers: Clark McCarthy Miller,
Kristen Gensler. Oh my gosh, Beth Glover. All Trailblazer Studios. They're in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's the production company that made the show happen. You know,
and most everybody has gone into different directions these days. Clark is still with Trailblazer. I think even Michelle, who was their head sound gal, is gone and moved on to more fertile. And I'm just saying I don't think she's pregnant or anything, but it's more fertile fields,
fertile ground. Yeah.
Sue, I've been thinking about a book.
Yes.
I just need somebody that can write.
Well, yeah. I get that. I feel the same way. But you are a good writer. You remember those blogs?
They weren't called the Daily Dog. They were called Dog Tales.
Dog Tales.
Yeah, I did a few. Talking about where we found stuff and we pulled them up every once in a while. They're fun to read. But I am not a writer. But what's that new app? AI app, something CGI or something CGI chat.
Chat GPT?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an AI. You can basically just feed it prompts, and it'll write as if it's a human thinking.
Maybe I'll just do that, just to start talking into chat GPT or GB, whatever it is.
Do you know about this website, the Wayback Machine?
No.
You can look at websites as how they looked back in the day. So this is blackdogsalvage.com from January 2006. And I was going to see if I could find the dog tails, but I don't think secondary pages. Oh, there's that.
No, that's just about us.
There's that iconic picture.
I'm looking forward to your
Dog Tales. Here it is.
Covering season 2. Thanks, John. We appreciate it.
I found it.
Dog Tales.
Can I share my screen?
I don't know.
Hold on. Oh, you guys got to see this.
I had it edited a little bit just for grammar and proper spelling.
Yeah.
Because I am not. I don't have good diction. I have a southern way, and I use a lot of uhs and.
Guys, I'm so sorry for the vertigo right now, but I want to show you.
Are they seeing that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Look at this. So. This is, first of all, this is what the Black Dog Salvage website used to look like. Are you seeing this over there?
No. No, we're not. Unless we have a delay that's going on that I can't see. It
should be working.
Are y'all just seeing us?
No, hey, there it is. Okay.
There it is.
So this is what Black Dog Salvage used to look like, the .com. And this, look at this. I found it. This is Dog Tales number 3. Raccoons and Falling Windows, The Hazards of Holy Salvage. You wrote this, right?
I wrote this, yeah, I did.
Captain's log. My band of brothers find ourselves in the North Country, heading for the Pennsylvania lowlands to bring down a full load of beautiful 100-plus-year-old church glass mentioned in my previous column. So this is the Washington, PA church.
Yeah.
All the equipment is on site when we get to it. Now, if anyone wants to know how to safely recover a 10-foot by 12-foot arch piece of American stained glass from its perch 25 feet off the ground, I'm not your man.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of this?
I remember every bit of it.
Yeah. I can attest that it is no small feat. Mission Control gives me the go-ahead to kick out the first one, and I think I'm ready. Having a moment of clarity, maybe it was the second cup of coffee kicking in, and me being the high wire man, see, even from day one.
Right.
I decide to put a second safety strap on the window. Good thing. When this big beauty headed for the floor, all the strapping let loose except for that last safety strap.
Yeah.
Divine intervention, maybe? I didn't hear the harps playing.
Yeah.
All I know is that we don't deserve to have this one.
Well, I don't deserve to have either one of them because they did the same thing on 2 of them, and those were awesome windows. I still have one, by the way. It's at Black Dog. It's a kind of a keystone piece.
Yeah.
We got stuff. I got stuff we've had 20 years, and it's just one of those things. Everything's for sale, but somebody has to buy it.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for humoring me on that one. There's more there. If you want to know how I found that, Google something called the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
And it's a project, I think it's a sort of open source project where you can go look at what websites used to look like back in the past. So I said Black Dog Salvage, and I just picked like 2005 or whatever.
Right.
And you can find, I'm sure those exist somewhere on an actual hard drive, maybe. But
Krista would have them somewhere.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you don't you forget. But so that whole line of questioning or thought was about a book, and
yes,
and there is one there.
And I brought that up to show because I remember that. I'm like, you are a good writer.
I can jot.
At least it felt conversational.
Yeah, I never did a journal or anything. It's all kind of rattling around in my head. And of course, by the time it gets out of my head, it's changed because my head has changed.
It's like a one-person game of telephone.
I don't know that it gets better. It might just get worse, but it is what it is,
But yeah, a book would be cool, I think.
Yep.
We're going to try to keep up with some comments here. Maida Tilchin said, Sawzall should have paid you. You damn right they should have.
Yeah, and there's who did the Sawzall?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee did the first Sawzall. We had a skill Sawzall. We had a sponsor, and it was kind of, they sent us these Sawzalls, and we were up in Glade Springs, and I was underneath the stairs with the Sawzall sawing, and the blade, and Robert was above me, and the blade shot out of the Sawzall and went up and just barely missed him. And I threw the thing in the garbage, and I said, if they're going to send us these, make sure they send a case of them because I'm going to throw one away every day.
Is that the saw that we nicknamed Patience?
I don't know.
I think we nicknamed a Sawzall. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
We nicknamed a Sawzall Patience, meaning, how do we get this out?
Yeah.
Well, with patience.
Yeah.
Well, is Patience is the name of a Sawzall? Because that's how I'm going to get it out.
Well, and I always said go Sawzall early.
Yeah.
And Robert, at the very end, towards the last season, he started to lead a little bit earlier with a full Sawzall instead of a small saw and a pick.
He probably put the shorter blade on it, a little responsible amount.
Robert's got skills, but he's sometimes it's slow in coming. It's slow in coming.
John Glowowski said, did the production people get in the way of your work? Very rarely.
Very rarely, yeah. If they were in the way, they were on the wrong side.
There was Gary who stood under the elevator shaft when you were about to drop all those chairs down.
Gary Costner was just amazing.
He was fearless.
He was. It was, and to the point of this is going to kill you. And if y'all remember, I don't know if y'all remember that when it was part of the intro, I think, when all those chairs were bouncing off.
We covered it in season 1 of the podcast. It was the Washington Mills episode. Go listen to it. I maintain that was the single best bit of television we ever created.
Yeah.
I think. That'd be my Mount Rushmore.
And it's kind of funny,
again,
talking about reality, I kicked that thing over and it started dumping stuff out, but it stuck.
Yeah.
It stuck halfway, and we were up 4 floors.
Oh, yeah.
And I kicked it in. So I had to kind of rappel down into the shaft and kick this thing loose. It took about 10 minutes. Well, Gary was right up underneath the shaft shooting up. And, of course, they didn't show me doing that because it was probably an OSHA violation. And
all of it was at the early
first
days.
season was all OSHA violations.
Yeah.
But we survived. And so once I said, Gary, get out of there. I love you. And I'm kicking this thing free. And that's when it all hit the deck and bounced and broke everything. And that was some good TV right there.
Do you guys remember that? Let us know in the chat if you remember that part of that episode.
It was the Washington Mill.
That's an OG throwback right there.
Yeah, that's right. OG. Is that Original Gangster?
Original Gangster.
Yeah, there you go. I'm learning these things.
Yeah. John Holman said, post Mike's musings. I'd love to read them. We should make it a personal goal to repost the dog tales. Those were great.
Yeah,
give them some you can record an audiobook.
Oh.
You could read them yourself, and people could listen to it in the voice of Mike Whiteside.
See, I'm not a reader either. You got to see me.
Maybe you don't want that.
I'm going back to the Chat GPD or whatever it is, GPS or
a book about the use and care of a sawzall.
Sawzall.
I don't know about care, but definitely the use of a sawzall.
How about the use and abuse?
Yes, the abuse of a sawzall.
It's my go-to. I should really. Somebody sent me a T-shirt just recently about a sawzall, Mike and his sawzall.
We got to make a shirt.
There is a shirt, yeah, but it's not about me.
Yeah.
I'm just the next in line of sawzall devotees.
Listen. You should have a pension of sawzalls. They should give you one every month out of what you've done for the Sawzall community.
Yeah, the Sawzall community. Like there's a bunch of us out there, right? Yeah, we meet every Thursday, by the way.
Yeah. Hello, my name's Mike, and I abuse sawzalls.
I'm a sawzall.
Hello, Mike.
I use sawzalls
inappropriately.
Yeah. That's okay. That's all right.
Oh my God. Vicky
remember.
answered Sue's, or Sue answered Vicky's question, but they wanted to know what bourbon we were drinking. Defiant.
Again, this is Defiant. It's I'll read it out to you a little bit. It's Defiant. It's an American single malt whiskey. It's made in Blue Ridge Distilling Company in Golden Valley, North Carolina.
Do they still make it?
Oh yeah. This is a new bottle. These guys are still in they tell their story here, and really, but they were looking at doing a reality show for a while. When we were kind of into our second or third season, we were introduced to these folks, and I really wanted to do a dive with them, but these guys were professional divers, and I tried that once in Amelia Island, and
you were a yacht captain and in the Navy, so you
I
more qualified than any of it.
I'm an open water diver. I'm not a salvage diver. Those guys go in black, and they it's
silt and all that.
Crazy. I'm claustrophobic ish, and I don't like it.
Don't blame you. I kind of am too.
And anyway, when we get to that episode, it's in season 11. I'll tell you. I'll share my heart with you on that one. It was
that Amelia Island.
It was kind of spooky. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of built up the drama, but maybe not all of it was
in
staged.
my head. It was you didn't see what I saw, and I didn't see anything. And you're inside this mask, and that's your world, and that it's spooky. And it turns out it was a white shark nursery or breeding ground.
Where you guys were diving?
Yeah, and 3 days after we left, the same spot the guys we dove with, showed a picture of a 17-foot great white. God. Right where we were. I mean, I would have filled my wetsuit with things, I mean, like what do you do when a 17-foot great white nudges you? I said,
poop your pants?
Yeah. You freeze like a stick, It's like, I don't want to make it easy for him to eat me. I said, just take me quick. Don't toy with me. Grab my head and take it off. It's some scary stuff. But these guys, they were nobody's getting eaten. But just the idea of
you weren't in chainmail, were you?
No.
Yeah.
No, I had a full on wetsuit on, a dry suit.
Well, it got wet.
No, it was a dry suit, and it got real wet. But it was anyway. That's that. I don't know how we got off on that tangent.
Oh, sure. This is nothing but a long tangent. So should we look at what's to come here and see? For those curious, of course, if you're just joining us, I'll try to do that Howard Stern thing. Yeah. If you're just joining us, this is the season 1 wrap party of the Black Dog Salvage podcast with myself, Tay Whiteside, and my irreverent father, Mike Whiteside here.
I'm pretty reverent.
I tried to just find an impactful word. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
But I think we might do this between each season. We definitely wanted to do it after season 1 because we've never done a podcast before.
Well, we tried.
We did a semblance of one.
We did 6, and to Bob Nastasi and Jason.
Jason Elias.
Yeah, who was a producer. We tried 6, and we had guests like we had Mark Bowe on, and we had Steve Thomas, Rutledge Wood, and DeResta.
Jimmy DeResta, that's right.
And Grayson. And so we tried it, and it was heavily produced, and just didn't take off. And then we figured, after we did that, we said we kind of did all the effort to start this thing. We might as well
bought equipment.
See if we can reestablish or just do it like what you're seeing right now, just sitting here yakking.
Well, and it was I think with that and the TV show, we are constantly made aware of just how much effort it takes to produce stuff. I think people don't really realize what it takes to make a TV show, what it takes to make a radio show or a podcast sound really good, or just producing content. Depending on the level of care you have about the final product, I am somewhat of a perfectionist in an imperfect world, which is why I go to therapy.
Yeah.
But
that's not where I live. Sure.
There's a lot of moving parts, and if you half-ass it, people are going to know if the audio doesn't sound good, if the video doesn't work. That's all you're going to hear in the comments if it doesn't sound good. And I think we take for granted how much content we get to consume, whether it be Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, TV, all that stuff.
There's so much out there.
And there's millions and millions of dollars that go into making most shows. And here we are with about $1,500 worth of gear and some old stories, and we're throwing it together.
We're shoestringing it, so to speak, or bootstrapping it.
Yeah.
And it's easy. I mean, again, if we have people that listen, and we obviously do, you guys out there are a good example, is, it's just going over something that we did, that we loved, and just give you some of the insight about what's going on behind the scene, because there was a lot behind the scene happening. How we got the shot, the salvage, and the trip to there and from there, and what broke, and stuff you didn't see.
The travel vlogs would have been cool to do.
That would have been good.
Yeah, just what it takes to put the Black Dog rolling circus on the road.
It was a circus.
Yeah.
I mean, you see our trucks going. We had typically 3 trucks running together.
Yeah.
And we had
truck and trailer, another truck and trailer, box truck, show hauler.
The show hauler was our office. And the cool thing about the show hauler, the big white truck that we traveled in and had our tools in, it is now, we donated to a nonprofit, which is Veterans Golf Association out of Pinehurst. And now it has memberships of veterans that are members, and they can go and see the buy swag on the show hauler. They have a lounge in it, really cool. But so if you see it going down the road, you'll see our logo in the back corner. We donated it to them, and they're actually really did it great. They spent a bunch of money, or had a bunch of money donated to spend, and it was pretty hot. Is that it?
Yeah, I'm looking at them now.
Yeah,
about
great. VGA. Is that right? VGA.
Dedicated to enriching the lives of veterans and their family members through the camaraderie and sportsmanship of golf.
And you'll see them at the big golf events like the Masters, and they'll be out with the press and flesh.
Yeah,
but anyway, good group.
Cool.
Good group of people. So we were always on the road, and that would have been a good time if we were savvy enough to take the blog. Mm-hmm. That would have been cool. But hey, we'd have to do that in the future now.
John Holman asked a pretty relevant question: is Black Dog still doing active salvage?
Yes, only limited though. We've lost some of our people that would do it, and so we're down to our Tay especially. He was my go-to guy, and he went on his own, encouraged by me. We do it.
You didn't talk me out of it.
Salvage? No, I didn't try. Salvage is a regional business at best, and there's some bigger companies that'll go pretty far afield to do it, but it's regional. 2 hours away, something you can do in a day or two. If it goes any farther, and we were able to go farther just because it was subsidized by the network. Our expenses are by the production company
for the episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So they would pay for our fuel and our lodging and our food, and we ate and drank great. When we had good ratings, we were feasting.
Oh my God! I remember just like season 5, season 6, we were peaking. I think, and that Gold Amex. that the production company had was swiped heavily.
We wore that thing out. We had a good time with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get to use it, but we had our producer was cool, and that's Clark McCarthy. He was a blast.
There's something truly, I think, beautiful, if at the risk of overstating things, about working really hard with some of your favorite people all day and all week, and then deciding as a collective to stop working for the day, going back to the hotel, changing, maybe not changing, and reaching for that cold beer and sitting down, maybe for the first time all day, and going, damn, what a day, and that unwind at the end of the day over a meal or over a drink, and everyone's, if it was cold, everyone's flushed. If it was hot, everyone's sunburned.
It's just fun.
That unwind was
real.
Not only necessary to our, I think, moral fortitude, but some of my fondest memories.
Yeah.
Truly.
Some of our days, we had some hard days.
Oh, yeah. Just
either hot or freezing, and it's just, and
very rarely was it 65 and breezy.
Not too often, no. Perfect salvage.
Yeah.
I remember we were in Edison, New Jersey, and it was like 95 in the shade.
Oh, dude.
And
I do remember that.
And I gave Clark got pizza.
Lasagna.
Is that
That's
what lasagna
what it was.
Hot lasagna.
On a hot summer day.
I said, how about some cold cuts? Something, and it was kind of funny that he
that was a joke for many years to come.
It was. Hey, man, what's for lunch? Lasagna.
Speaking of Edison, New Jersey, that is the, I'm going to share my screen again and show the people what it looks like here on.
Edison?
Well, coming into season 2 of not only Salvage Dogs, but the season 2 of the podcast that we're about to start, where we cover season 2 of Salvage Dogs. Here it is. This is what it looks like on Amazon Prime Video, which is where I continue to watch the show, and I don't think it's a bad option for y'all out there if you don't have network television. This is season 2. This is what it looks like. Salvage Dogs. There you guys are. I always think it's funny right here, Robert's face that they chose to put on the splash screen. He looks like he's about to poop his pants.
Yeah, I can really say.
That's Robert attempting to be joyful.
Yeah.
He's sick right now. I shouldn't be mean.
I think we did that. That was one of the the script shoot that we went to Knoxville and shot.
Oh, that's what that was?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And they wanted us goofing around like the Property Brothers, and I'm a goof, so I'll play the part a little bit. Robert he's a straight guy through and through, and doesn't have it in him, except for maybe you get half a dozen beers in him, and it was just a terrible day. He had smacked his head getting into the limo to go to the shoot, and was bludgeoned, and so he had to have it kind of closed up, and then a makeup artist came and cleaned him up, and so
oh no,
that was his start of his day.
I never heard that story.
Yeah, it was brutal, and then we had to go play fun, and then they wanted us singing Christmas tunes, like whatever it was, and so I started just belting it, and not Robert. Robert's very.
You're dependable talent, really.
Yeah,
Your talent they can count on.
It was, but you got to have a little participation on the other side, and I didn't get it. So that's okay. That's all right. They know that's what that picture comes. Are they seeing this picture now?
They are. They have been, and I just put it in the corner here, but. That's hilarious. I didn't know that was such a drama-filled day.
Yeah, so we went in for that. And
one of the few times you guys got sort of paraded as the leads of a hit television show, for gosh sakes.
Part of our contract was every season they could use us 3 times for free.
Oh.
Meaning they'd have to pay for our expenses, but we would have to go to Knoxville or someplace and do something, a show or.
Yeah,
we'd always promos, whatever it was, and that was okay. It was part of the deal, and it was a way to get out of the house, so to speak, not the house, but out of the Black Dog,
out of town.
Yeah,
get wined and dined and stuff, probably.
So we didn't really get wined and dined like they are today. There's a lot of the Magnolia people that are Mark Bowe, matter of fact, is still doing it. What's Mark doing? Mark's
Barnwood Builders.
Barnwood Builders, yeah. Yeah, so he's still at it.
Yeah. Well, and coming into season 2, that's what I've got pulled up on the screen right now, is what we're going to be talking about in the second episode of the podcast, or second season of the podcast.
This was an old house. It turned out in Edison, probably late 1800s.
So that's episode 2, originally aired January 16th, 2014. Oh, this is when they were doing 2 episodes a night because they have the same date.
I got you.
So Roanoke, Virginia housing items. That was the old Salem Turnpike house, the Nussbaum, something.
Yeah, Brook
Nesselbrook house in Roanoke.
And that was a cool one because, I mean, unfortunately, people were living in it just before we demoed it. And
oh, really?
Yeah, and it wasn't in
well,
very
it's
good condition.
it's over by the kind of projects.
Yeah, and Gracie helped us on that one.
Totally,
as I remember.
Yep.
And we had some fun with that. That was a good.
Oh my God, I remember. I can't wait to talk about this. That was when Robert was using a metal detector to try to find like Civil War memorabilia.
Somebody had supposedly buried a Civil War rifle,
something of the sort.
Pistol or something, and so we were out there with some lone metal detectors going for it, and Robert is just—you could just tell he was, we were finding old tubes of toothpaste.
Well, he got a call while he's doing that. He's on camera using a metal detector in a field,
talking to his wife,
and he got a call from his wife, and he said, "Hey, honey." And I guess she asked, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, just wasting my time."
Yeah. We got to put a beer koozie on these things, because we obviously
it was the funniest. Ted and I died. You too, probably. We died laughing at that because that's so Robert. Oh, wasting my time.
That's
losing money.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
How about you, honey?
Yeah. And then, of course, episode 2 of season 2 is going to be that Edison, New Jersey, blazing hot farmhouse, 1800s farmhouse that we salvaged. Really cool doors, I remember, in the garage outside there.
Yep.
I remember you hit the tree with the Isuzu for some reason. Remember that. Episode 3, we salvaged a Eiffel Tower replica.
Yeah, and that one's, we still got that. It's unfortunately
Daryl still have it.
He does. Yeah, and it's sitting over in near Lynchburg. It's
erected.
Erected, yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take it down because I have to go up and do what we did here.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
And that was early on, man. I was tying myself onto this thing with
oh my
rope.
God, yeah.
But that was I was comfortable.
I mean, the crew was just on the ground, like, film this.
Yeah,
Do not stop.
Yeah. If it's the end of the season, or the end of the whole series, then at least you got to catch me going all the way down.
Yeah. We salvage a bed and breakfast here in Roanoke, I believe, and then go through an auto graveyard where off camera I buy a 1974 Datsun 260Z that I let rot behind my house for the next 10 years. So you can see it, and there's one shot in that episode where you see it lifted up on a forklift. Let's cut back to the stream. Anybody saying stuff?
I'm looking. Enjoy the episodes. Hope you plan to continue. Well, Karen, I'm afraid we're not. This is it. This is what we're doing now. It's we're not going to do any more episodes like you saw on TV because, first off,
she might be talking about the podcast, in which case, yes, we do plan to continue doing that.
Okay, but we're not doing
with your guys' blessing. Of course.
I mean, we'll do it. I mean, you can watch if you like. We'd appreciate it if you would. But what they say, like, subscribe, and
like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, whatever.
Thumbs up. Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. All those things wherever you find your podcast. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to bore you guys here. Lakeside Marina, we go to the local Smith Mountain Lake Marina.
That was fun. Dickie Dill, local guy. I mean, a real legend around here.
Episode 6, Robert and Grayson salvage a spiral staircase, and you and I picked through a restoration shop in Petersburg.
Yep.
Virginia. I want to say Randy Case.
Randy something
or other.
Yeah.
Episode 7, Foursquare Farmhouse. We take apart a house in Roanoke off of Starkey Road to make room for a retirement community.
Yep.
Episode 8, Bunkorama Teletrade. We go,
downtown.
You, Robert, and Ted go downtown Roanoke to salvage a stock ticker from the 80s.
A.G. Edwards or
Where Robert's
Edward
dad
Jones.
used to work.
Yeah, it was old school, where the ticker would go across the symbol, and it's kind of what you see on the money channels.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
One of my favorites here is the Zuni Tamaroa.
Episode 9 coming up in season 2.
That is the bomb.
Yeah, it's first time meeting Captain Tim at his shipbreaking yard in Norfolk, Virginia.
And the story of the Tamaroa is really cool.
Yeah, it was the last boat out of Iwo Jima, and it was the ship that once it was converted into a Coast Guard cutter, the story of the Perfect Storm was based off of this boat.
That was the boat that answered the call to go out and rescue the helicopter pilots and the yacht crew that the helicopter was trying to rescue.
Oh yeah.
So that's really a cool story. Now we did the salvage on it, and Tim obviously and them did the rest. Then they sunk it about 30 miles off the shore, the Delaware coast.
It's an artificial reef now.
Right, and you can go do Tamaroa sinking, and there's a Google.
There is a video I think on YouTube about it.
Those guys, but that was Terrell 10. He's still at it today. I sent him a text to him the other day, and he's a real colorful guy. If you remember the episode, but he's demoing or reclaiming, scrapping a submarine right now.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously it's not one of the nuclear ones, so it had to be one of the old diesel boats. But
yeah,
I'd like to get. He showed me. He sent me a picture of it where they're in the torpedo room and they're winching out a torpedo. Now I'm assuming it's a blank.
Yeah.
But I asked him. I said, "What do you want for your torpedo?" And he didn't send me anything back.
He kept his cards close to his chest.
Everybody wants a torpedo. For
Who doesn't?
Sake, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, season 2 is we're getting into our grind, our jive, our groove.
The theater, the terracotta theater facade is in season 2.
Oh yeah,
that was brutal.
That was terrible for you.
Yeah, sure was.
And that was that theater where we were sick.
Oh, look at the
After
thumbnail for episode 11. It actually has Jack and Beth in the thumbnail.
Okay, that's Youngwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there's a door that's on Tay's.
There's 4 doors in my
doors
office.
in here, but the one we just put in because somebody broke into Tay's studio.
Yeah.
Busted the door out. Of course, he's in jail now, and because Tay had a camera. And this door is now on the front of, and it's one of the doors that when Tay and Ted were bringing the lockers down the stairs, they let them go. They got out of control. Whether they let them go to do it was another story. But it broke. It went right into the window of this one door.
Very fast motorcycle.
Yeah.
But we're very impressed with that very fast motorcycle out there.
Very nice. So, but this stuff lives on, guys. I mean, all the stuff that we've taken out of these buildings, like the facade, and I forget what town it was in.
Boardman, Ohio.
It's Boardman.
Yeah.
Okay, near Youngstown.
Yeah.
And
cold as
it's
hell.
now down in Florida somewhere, maybe.
That whole facade.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We had it all taken apart, numbered, and stuck, and it's a puzzle now. We got pictures.
Good luck, someone else.
I guess. I mean, then people buy them, put them back together. But that was a reclaim on that building. It's kind of fun to see second and third generation salvage. This was the second time this facade had been salvaged.
Yeah,
because it was from a theater in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
twice baked salvage.
Yeah. It's cool stuff. But hey, well, listen. What else we got going on, everybody? Anybody other questions? I see we got some questions here. But
Stephen Crossingham says your podcasts are so natural and easy to listen to. Any chance of more of your photos to illustrate them in season 2? Yes. So, as we touched on earlier, it took us a little while to realize that we should document for ourselves. And as I edit these podcasts, because I edit them all myself. I take the video and the audio from the board and I combine them in software. And if I do have photos, I'll make a note as we're recording. 30 minutes in, we talk about this. I'll go, honestly, I scroll through Black Dog's Facebook page and download them from there. And Krista was actually really good about making albums for stuff. But as we progress through the seasons, we got better and better at taking photos. So as we get through the podcast, I will naturally have access to more and more photos from that day and those jobs and those builds.
Yep.
I have my own catalog. I'm sure Black Dog does too. And if I was maybe a little proactive, more proactive, I can reach out.
So much content.
So much
delivered. Curtis, Captain Tim. He was Robert. It's more like Robert's nemesis, to tell you the truth, because Tim was enlisted in the Navy, and I was enlisted, but Robert was an officer.
E versus O.
He didn't like officers, and
I don't think he liked authority of any kind.
He didn't, but it's it was his business, and he could do what the heck he wanted to.
Sure.
And but he was an interesting fellow. Very, like you're saying, they're very dynamic, strong personality, and he still is today. And he's a great guy. Always enjoyed. We've done a lot of stuff. We did a lot of stuff with him after the Tamaroa.
Yeah, 4 or 5 return visits.
Yeah, we did the seal fast insertion boat, and we did the
ferry.
The ferry. And we also did the
Cape May ferry.
Yeah, it was whatever it was called, and then we did the fireboat from Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So those, he let us in a lot, and the easy part was doing the salvage. The hard part was negotiating. Yeah, the thing.
And he knew he was on camera. Sure.
Well, that's okay. That's Tim.
It did make it fun.
It ain't Tim's first rodeo.
No.
And but it's kind of funny. What's his name? Jeff Lanner called him Terrible Tim because he's hard to work with, and it just kind of stuck. And I said, "No, it's not Terrible Tim. It's Captain Tim.
Yeah,
he is a captain. So I'm probably going to hear from him about this, and I hope I do, because I want to buy that torpedo, by the way.
Tim, if you sell Dad the torpedo, we'll put you on the podcast. How about that?
Yeah.
For whatever that's
what
worth.
A bonus. Yeah. That's funny. But, yeah.
But anyway, yes, more photos. As many as I can find, I will plug into the episodes I'm not just going to shoehorn them in, but if we happen to talk about something, I'll throw them on there.
Yeah.
If they exist. Still.
Well, most of them do, but we have a floppy disk, a 3.5-inch floppy disk. Remember those cameras?
Yeah, I bought one at a thrift shop because it was the same one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were following through. We were in when the internet was just starting. When we started Black Dog, that was the first thing we did. Is Robert and I went. We divvied up the stuff that we were looking at, and we went to eBay. That was when eBay was young, and looked and see what things we were going for. So that's kind of. We're not necessarily the authority, but I always tell folks it's only worth what somebody will pay for it. It might be worth $1 million, but if you're only going to get 100,000, that's all it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And we deal with that today. Like we can only go so far in salvage because the cost of logistics and crew and insurance and feeding and the whole bit. It requires us to stay a little closer to home, and that's how we started. We were a local company, and of course we were in business for 12 years before we started the show.
Yeah.
And when we started the show, we only had 7 employees, which was great.
Yeah, sounds nice now, doesn't it?
Yeah. But we got it down to 25 now. But it's that's our leanness, and we got bigger, but fun. And we still enjoy doing it.
Totally. Yeah. I don't take part in salvage much anymore, but
no,
I'm here for a ringer if you need one.
Well, I might tap you on that. I'm getting old. I need to turn into Robert.
Yeah.
And start carrying the the clipboard around.
Well, help Dad retire, y'all. Up here somewhere, someone talked about your Cameo performance and how it was very appreciated.
Oh yeah, I do cameos. If you haven't. It's just fun, People ask me to say something to a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, or somebody that's needing a little pep talk, and so I'll jaw. They'll tell you what it's all about, and I like folks. It's fun. But Cameo, you can go to Cameo, and there's all kind of reality stars there, guys. So from housewives of the rich and famous or whatever they are, and everybody's there. So I mean, even the people I don't know that Mark Bowe is there. I keep mentioning Mark because he's a great guy, but
He stays busy on his own right.
he is very busy. Somebody came in the other day and said it just came from Barnwood Builders or Barnwood Living is the name of the thing. And I said, did you see Mark? He said, yeah. I said, that was a rarity. You ought to buy a lotto ticket because Mark is always on the road. You know, those guys are busy.
Yes, very.
I don't miss that. I don't miss that part of our business, of that business. You know, the hustle, the having to get up there and do it. I mean, no matter what the weather was, unless it was dangerous and lightning, we had to do it. Mm-hmm. We had to get out in it and do it. And
yeah, I'm just starting that part of my business.
Yeah, I'm backing out of that part of my business. Let's say the Cameo, we still show it to.
That was Joey.
Oh, that's Joey. Yeah.
That was me. I talked about Cameo. We still show it to relatives and friends.
Oh,
there you
goodness gracious. Well, thanks, Joey. I appreciate it. I hope it didn't screw up too bad because you never know. It's kind of you do get to record it and then you can record it again, and you can record it again. You know, sometimes I have to because I don't know what that.
You want it to be natural, you know.
Well, you want it to say something, you know, instead of going
be worthy of the investment too. Yeah,
and some people are paying for you to do that. But thank you, Joey. We appreciate it. What else we got, Tay?
I don't know. I think we're getting there. Seriously, guys, one of the main ideas behind this live stream was to get input on what you guys liked about season 1, what you want to see in season 2. So far, we got input about more pictures, and I'll definitely do that if I can. But as all you know, with added effort, my bandwidth, I'm operating at my limit every day with running my business and my YouTube channel and everything. So
we're going to try and keep this simple.
Make my life easier, and just give me all the feedback you can, and also. The biggest thing, honestly, you can do is not only spend money at Black Dog. Go get a hat, go get a T-shirt, buy some Salvage, pickles,
pickles.
Whatever else you guys sell.
If you guys are pickle people, send them to me.
They got pickles.
I got pickles, but I love pickles. So, you know,
you got to pry the pickles out of his hands.
I'm all the pickles. Yeah, I'm all about the pickle. You know,
Black Dog's new business model.
We're
all about the pickle.
We call it Swag Alley, you know, and there's a counter and some T-shirts and hats, and on the other side is trinkets and bobs and pickles and jam, and I always tell folks that we make it in the basement, and and then I start laughing. I said, no, it's not. No sawdust in it.
Yeah,
it's made by a licensed canner, and we private label it. But I love pickles, so if anybody's got any ideas about pickles, I would. I'm telling you what, I'm starting to salivate just thinking about pickles.
God, really's got a fascination.
It does.
Pickles.
I mean, it's I'm hungry.
You always have.
I'm hungry, yeah, and
I'm hungry now.
I just love pickles, but
you got any on you?
I don't.
You keep them things on you?
No pickles. I don't go mobile with my pickles. You know, I drink pickle juice.
I'll do a pickle shot, a pickle back, where it's Jameson, a shot of Jameson and a shot of pickle juice.
It's all fermented. You know, it's good for you. It's
sure.
Vinegar and oil and salt and garlic and all kind of stuff.
Slow you down.
Well, or speed you up, one or the other. You know,
a little nip of that whiskey.
Oh, you want some Defiant?
A little goodbye whiskey.
Yeah,
here.
we'll say we'll take one drink for the road here.
But aside from spending money with Black Dog, seriously, I sound like a broken record, but what does help immensely is subscribing. You're here right now on YouTube, so subscribe to the Black Dog Salvage YouTube channel. Like, comment. Those statistics go a very, very long way, not only into directly monetizing the channel, but it shows us that it's growing and that there's some momentum and that you're interested. If everybody in here has already subscribed, then I'm sorry for talking your ear off. But tell your friends about your new favorite podcast, and that sure does help us feel continually motivated to keep doing it. Not that we don't want to do it
My
anyway.
favorite style pickles is a kind of a hybrid. It's kind of salty, not quite dill.
Sweet and salty?
There's somebody that did some locally that had some Old Bay seasoning in it.
Mm.
Oh, I mean, I would open up a small pint of that, and I'd eat a half a jar before I even got out of the car. I love bread and butter, but I like a spice. But I don't like a real sweet pickle.
Spicy hot.
But all the pickles are good. You know, everywhere I go, I go. I was in some Hooterville place yesterday, just picking up something, and I went looking for their pickles because you never know where you're going to find the best pickle. So
that ought to be your blog, Mike's Pickle Hunt.
The pickle search.
The pickle man.
I got to start making my own. And then my grandmother, I remember she had a pickle crock in her kitchen all the time, and she was fermenting.
Yeah.
Cucumbers for pickles. And
you realize how old I was when I realized that pickles were just fermented cucumbers?
I don't.
Too old.
Well, you have to have a thing for pickles, I mean, I'm sorry I keep going about pickles, guys, but
well, listen.
And iced tea. Well, I was raised on very, very sweet iced tea.
Oh yeah.
And I was, to not probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I got rid of the sugar, and that was a hard transition because I'm a sweet tea kind of person. And
you're sweet enough without it.
I know, but it's it's not good for you, the sugar. So I got rid of the sugar, and now I'm a non-sweet tea, which is against my Southern heritage. But hey, what do you do?
I think they'll still claim you.
I like chutney too, Colleen. Yeah, I mean any kind of jam. I'm more of a savory kind of guy. Sweet jams and stuff are okay, but I'll take a chutney or a relish. Like a hot relish, and I've had some habanero. I'm not a hot person, but I like it for the spice. Yeah.
Curtis said, Mike, no wonder you and Mark Bo get along. He's definitely a pickle lover,
He is
too.
a pickle nut. I know.
Yeah.
We ought to have a pickle off.
Maybe there's something about reclaiming old buildings and pickles.
No, it's a thing. It's a taste. It's hard to describe the people that are not pickle fanatics.
I love a pickle, but I don't think I'd take 10 minutes of airtime to talk about pickles.
I like a crispy pickle.
Little crunch.
Crunch. Yeah. Oh, well, we're just going off on pickles here, guys. But,
well, Vicky said, you go ahead and keep talking pickles.
Oh, shit, Biggie. You like the pickle, huh? I appreciate it.
The chat's more active now about pickles than
Here
it
we
was
go.
before.
We're talking pickles.
I'm eating my words. You got your whole audience
you got
cornered
a fake
here.
what's it called?
Janie said, my grandmother made a mustard beet that was a little sweet and Old Bay flavor. Michelle said, I just found a great brand of pickles at the Clearbrook Walmart. Oh, she's local to this area. Yeah. There's chunks of garlic, pieces of dill, and grape leaves in the bottom. It's called Grillo's Fresh Pickle Chips. Gotta try it. Tell you what.
We're in Clearbrook. Yeah, that's a good Clearbrook's just a little, in Walmart?
The Clearbrook Walmart.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Well, that takes it away.
Pickles are incredibly healthy for you.
They are.
A lot of sodium, but damn good.
You're going to get the salt somewhere,
Got the salts.
And I mean, I thought, we're drinking non-gluten free or gluten-free bourbon.
I'm on a bit of a diet now until my 30th birthday, and I was doing some research. A shot of whiskey only has like 45 calories in it. How about that?
When's your? I know when your birthday is, but tell the folks out there in Podland when your birthday is.
Sometime in mid-April is what I'll say.
Okay.
I'm not going to put everything out there. You can probably find it if you want. But
we got a bunch of birthdays. I'm late April. You're mid-April.
Grace is late April. Mom's early May.
Early May. So we get a lot of birthdays in that part of the calendar.
Be my big 3-0 coming up.
That's right. What you gonna do?
Blow it out.
We'll
do
really?
something. Yeah. I'd love to. Probably just have a big old cookout at the house.
That'd be fun.
Yard party. It'll be warm again by mid-April.
Yeah, so. I hope so. I mean, it's warm now. It was like 75 degrees in Roanoke.
It was awesome today.
Hey, wasn't it? It's scary awesome. And this is late February.
Global warming. Global warming.
The poles are shifting and the weather patterns are changing, and it's just mayhem out there, guys. So the only thing that you can really count on is Tay and I's podcast.
And Mike talking about pickles.
And the pickles. And the joy that pickles bring you.
Well, hey, on that note, this has been the Season 1 live show, after show.
Pickle Fest
2023. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. We had about 50 viewers the whole time, so that was really cool. Sorry about all the internet stuff. I learned that I should just plug the laptop in directly.
Right. Yeah, it's always about the signal. And Elon, if you're on, which I know you're not.
Yeah.
Send me a Starlink, baby.
The first episode of Season 2 will either be live the 27th of February or the 6th of March.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. We will start recording them again. We'll have more pictures in there if we can find them. Please, please, please let us know what you like, what you don't like. We'll listen to some of it. And like, subscribe, tell your friends. That's the biggest thing. And wherever you listen on Spotify, Apple Music, rate us.
Yep.
There's a rating
tune in
system.
to do my daily dogs that aren't quite so daily.
Yeah,
but,
the not so daily dog.
I show some stuff around Black Dog that we're doing. We're doing a real cool bar right now that we have some pieces from the Tamaroa, matter of fact, on it. And so I'll go over that probably tomorrow because it's going to hit the floor. And just stay in touch, guys. Reach out.
We're here.
You know, we're here. I always say we're here till we're not.
Yeah.
And everybody keep their head down and your powder dry and love the one you're with.
That's right. We'll see you in a few weeks. This is the Black Dog Salvage Podcast. I have been Tay Whiteside.
And I am still Mike Whiteside.
Cheers to you and yours.
Send us out.
Well, yeah, we'll play the song.
We'll play our little
See
jingle.
you guys.
Bye, everybody. Good night from Denver. I lived in Denver for 3 years.
Good night from Boston.
Bow, 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 bow. I got that.
We're gonna get you. Somebody send Mike a tambourine.
The tambourine. No, send me pickles.
Okay,
Love y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Awesome.
That was